So the police to this day haven't solved who the person committed this crime is. There has been many theories, and this is a very, very popular case, so I'm not gonna keep it too long. I have recently seen the documentary revolving around this case on Netflix, and I decided to make a video about it since it's resurgence in popularity, I guess. But this definitely have been covered by a lot of people, media, documentaries. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about JonBenet Ramsey, and she was a 6-year-old girl at the time of her passing. This case is very well known for JonBenet being a pageant contestant. She was in children's pageants, and she competed, and a lot of people have blamed the parents for what happened to her because of these suggestive, according to some people, photos and I guess performances during the pageants. I'm not American, so I don't understand why people do pageants. It's a very American thing, but there are people that are very interested in that. And JonBenet's mom also, I guess, made her daughter participate in this, although her dad did say that JonBenet really liked putting on a show and always would say, like, come dad, watch us, do this and that. But from the beginning, JonBenet Ramsey was born on August 6th, 1990 in Georgia, and she was the younger of 2 children of Patricia, her mom, and John. She had an older brother named Burke, and she also had other siblings from a previous marriage from her dad's side. JonBenet's first name is the combination of her father's first and middle names, and in the documentary, her dad said that she was very proud of having her dad's name as her name, and her mother's first name was used as her middle name. So her body was discovered on December 26th, so it was right after Christmas, in her family home. She was, let's talk about the parents first. So John, her dad, was a businessman who was the president of Access Graphics. This is a computer software company, or at the time was. I think they got bought, but he made a lot of money, so there could have been people after their money, like deviation from my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement countermeasures and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions and you stand a 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You're not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. say, you're not doing your job, they could lose their job. It's just very unfortunate. But basically this note was 2.5 pages, handwritten on the kitchen staircase in their home. And John pointed out to the police on the scene that the amount that they requested, which was $118,000, was nearly identical to his Christmas bonus of the prior year, which suggested that someone who would have access to that information would be involved in the crime. Investigators looked at several theories behind the dollar amount demanded, considering employees at Access Graphics who may have known of the amount of John's prior bonus. They also considered the possibility that the ransom demand was a reference to Psalm 118 and spoke to religious sources to determine possible relevance. The note appears to echo film dialogue from films like Ruthless People, Ransom, Escape from New York, Speed, and Dirty Harry as the sources. So they seem to have taken some phrases from that. It's like the phrases like "you're not the only fat cat around," very weird, like, and the person refers to themselves as us, and then it says SBTC, so I don't know if they looked into that. Are they like initials of people, or is that a whole, like a sentence, a phrase? Because it says us, you would assume that it's initials of people's names, but again, it seems very personal. The only people at the night of JonBenet's murder were her immediate family, so her mom, her dad, and her brother. And the note contained, specific instructions against calling the police. However, her mom phoned the police straight away. It was 5:52 a.m. She also called her family and her friends right away. 2 police officers show up at the house after denying So even if whoever did this, their DNA was everywhere, it now was like, how are you going to tell? Because there were so many people there. Visitors also picked up and cleaned surfaces in the kitchen, possibly destroying evidence. One of the detectives arrived at 8 a.m., but there were no other instructions given by the kidnappers, and there was never an attempt made by anyone to claim the money. Why wouldn't the mom just not call the police, but why wouldn't they just give the money if they had the money to begin with? Why call the police? That also doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to put myself in that situation. I think I would do everything the note would tell me, because of if there was any chance that they're telling the truth on the note, because if you bring the money and no one shows up, then it goes to the police, So at this point, the whole day is passing them by. It's 1 p.m. Detective Arndt asked John Ramsey and Fleet White, a family friend, to search the house to see if anything seemed amiss. Why is the police not searching the house and the father and his friend is searching the house? They start their search in the basement. John proceeds to open the latch door where the police was there hours and hours ago, but he didn't open the door for whatever reason. John opens the door and he sees his daughter's body lay in one of the rooms in the basement. JonBenet was found with duct tape covering her mouth. There is a nylon cord found around her wrists, her neck, and her body was covered by a white blanket. Her dad picks up her body and rushes upstairs. Before he did that, he took off the duct tape to see if he could help her, is what he said. Obviously, once you've touched her body, you've contaminated the crime scene. Again, it's like, if that was your child, would you just not do anything? But would you also realize that the body is not moving, in terms of there's no airflow? I don't know. think there was bleeding and stuff. It's just horrible. The autopsy also revealed that a vegetable or fruit material, which may represent pineapple, which JonBenet had eaten a few hours before her death. Photographs of the home taken on the day when JonBenet's body was found show a bowl of pineapple on the kitchen table with a spoon in it. However, neither John nor Patsy said they remembered putting the bowl on the table or feeding pineapple to JonBenet. Police reported that they found Patsy Ramsey's fingerprints on the bowl. So there's a lot of evidence against her mom. So I can see how they thought that the mom did it. The major theories that JonBenet upset her mom, like the mom got upset at JonBenet for a reason, and the police was saying it's because she wet herself, and the mom got angry and proceeded to do all of this horrible, I wanted to say horrifying and horrible at the same time, horrible, but because of that the mom proceeded to, I guess, drag her down into the basement and commit this horrible act. And then when I guess she realized after a fit of rage what happened, she, I guess, did the note, but then the handwriting doesn't match, so I don't know how they explain that. And then she called the police, obviously ignoring the letter. So like the parents tried to cover it up or something. The dad says that why would she do it? She was, in remission from cancer. She, had cancer for a number of years, but then she had hope to live and to look after her children. And in the interviews, she was saying, like, I was just happy to be alive and to have, like, my 2 kids and to look after them. Why would I have done that? It's like disgusting and stuff like that. So it's really, really tough. But I do think that the police have just done disgusting. However, we know these people exist. And could have been like obsessed and gone into the home and committed this crime. And maybe the note was just there to distract them, like they make them waste time. I don't know. Apparently this DNA belonged to an unknown male person, which excluded the DNA of each of the Ramseys. The DNA was submitted to FBI's combined DNA index system, a database containing more than 1.6 million DNA profiles, but it didn't match any profile in the database. Obviously they have to be arrested to be there and to be in the FBI database. In 2016, a report said that new forensic analysis revealed that the original DNA contained genetic markers from two individuals other than JonBenet. James Kohler, who was a lead investigator for the DA's office, said that there were additional traces of male DNA found on the cord and a paintbrush that Boulder District Attorney Mary Lacey did not mention, and that there were 6 separate DNA samples belonging to unknown individuals that were found by the test. Having shown up identically in several different places on multiple surfaces belongs to the killer. So yeah, I guess it was a man. That's kind of, I guess, more solid evidence. Former Adams County District Attorney, who has assisted the Boulder DA's office on the case for many years, also believes that the DNA evidence is significant. The DNA showed up on several pieces of her clothing. And then Michael Baden said that there is no forensic evidence to show that this is a stranger murder. So they still believe that the parents, I guess, was not in the United States. So there are a lot of theories, obviously, intruder, family, da da da. There was a person who actually made a confession and said that he committed the crime. His name is John Mark Carr, and he was arrested in Bangkok, Thailand on August 15, 2006. He was a 41-year-old school teacher. He claimed that he drugged his aide and accidentally killed JonBenet. And according to CNN, authorities also said that they didn't find any evidence linking him to the crime scene, because there was DNA on her underwear, on her clothes, but they didn't match him at all. So it was a false confession, and he didn't provide any additional details that were not known to the public. It wasn't convincing enough. And there was no drugs found in her body, so the story just didn't match up, and they let him go. The Ramseys also sued a bunch of people because the media, the press, the news were really talking horribly about them with no evidence at all. So I think possibly, allegedly, they made a lot of money from suing people because all of the lawsuits that they made have been completed, I guess, and they got money, I think, after that. I think, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but that's what it looked like. But yeah, if you want to, there's not that many details about this case. I watched a documentary such